for 3 centuries. Earth had been little more than a ghost story among the stars, a place that once cradled humanity but now lay abandoned and erased from official records. The Galactic Council had long ago declared it a lost world, uninhabitable, and devoid of life. A relic of a war that nearly destroyed all human civilization. No starship had visited in generations, and the coordinates of Earth had become classified secrets, shared only in whispers and legends. To most species across the galaxy, Earth was a myth, a cautionary tale of what could happen when technology and pride combined in deadly arrogance. Yet, when the salvage vessel Nomad's Reach received a faint, irregular energy signal from the outskirts of what was supposed to be a dead system, curiosity overrode caution. Captain Mara Celine, a sharp and experienced leader known for her tenacity, ordered her crew to change course and investigate. The signal was faint, like a heartbeat from the grave. But it was definitely artificial and definitely not dead, as the Nomad's Reach dropped out of hyperspace. The sight that met the crew was unlike anything their star charts predicted. The planet below, a blue and green jewel, was unmistakably Earth. The vast cities that once defined its surface were no longer visible. Instead, thick forests sprawled where skylines once stood, and the oceans had reclaimed their ancient shores. Lieutenant Ishan, the ship's science officer, scanned the planet's surface. Atmosphere is stable. No signs of nuclear fallout or widespread contamination, he reported, eyes fixed on the data streaming across his console. Life signatures are weak, but present. Possibly flora, maybe fauna. Mara frowned. Then why was Earth declared lost? Why hide this information? The answer was a mystery they intended to solve. The Nomad's Reach made orbit, cautious yet driven. An energy spike on the planet's dark side drew their attention, a faint, pulsing glow beneath layers of overgrowth and ruins. It was faint, but unmistakable. A beacon, or perhaps a warning. The salvage crew boarded their shuttle and descended toward the source. As they entered the atmosphere, the shuttle's sensors struggled against interference, and comms crackled with static. Signal strength increasing, Ishan said. Excitement and concern in his voice. The landing zone revealed a sprawling ruin overgrown with dense jungle. Old skyscrapers entwined with vines and roads broken by roots. Time had swallowed Earth whole, but the signs of a lost civilization were everywhere. The team moved cautiously, weapons ready but unholstered. As they approached the glowing light, a circular structure came into view, an ancient control center covered in moss and rust. Its walls etched with symbols no one had seen in centuries. Jenna, the tech specialist, wiped grime from a panel and found a hidden interface. Her fingers danced across the cracked glass, trying to coax life from dead circuits. Suddenly, the console flickered, lights blinking erratically. "What did you do?" Mara asked, stepping closer. "I think I just woke something up." Above them, the sky erupted in light. Hundreds of points flickered into existence: satellites, weapons platforms, sensors swiveling and locking onto the shuttle's position. The Nomad's Reach crew looked up in stunned silence as the defense grid, silent for 300 years, roared back to life. The satellites scanned the forest with piercing beams, mapping every inch, tracking every heartbeat. The system's voice echoed through the comms, a cold, mechanical tone warning of unauthorized presence. "We are detecting hostile activity. Identification required." Mara's mind raced. This was no abandoned world, it was a fortress, sleeping, but deadly. And they were the intruders. "Shut it down," she ordered. "Jenna." "I'm trying, but it's fighting back. This system was built to never surrender." Outside, the satellites shifted, locking weaponry into position. The salvage crew's shuttle was caught in a crossfire of sensors and defensive targeting. "Brace for impact," Mara warned. And Earth, long forgotten and left to decay, had just reminded the galaxy that it was far from dead. The shuttle shook violently as the orbital defense grid targeted them with precision. Outside the window, beams of light carved the sky like angry fingers searching for a threat. Captain Mara Celine gritted her teeth, steadying herself against the shaking controls. "Evasive. Maneuvers," she ordered. The pilot pushed the thrusters hard, weaving through the sudden flurry of energy pulses. The old systems of Earth's defense satellites were precise, but slow leftover technology designed for a war the galaxy barely remembered. Jenna's fingers flew over her console. "Trying to interface with the grid remotely? I'm hacking." "The comms, trying to send a we come in peace signal," she called out, voice tense. "But it's like talking to a brick wall." Ishan studied the data streaming in. The system is designed to identify and neutralize any unauthorized vessel. It hasn't had a human input in centuries. It's operating on pure protocol. The shuttle banked sharply as a bright energy pulse zoomed past them, narrowly missing. The hull, Mara's heart pounded in her chest, but her voice stayed calm. "Keep trying, Jenna. We don't want to start a war with a planet that's been silent for 300 years. After what felt like an eternity, the weapons platforms finally powered down slowly, one by one. The glow of the satellites dimmed, settling back into silent watchfulness. "We did it," Jenna said, exhaling deeply. "Not quite," Mara said. "The grid is still online and scanning. This isn't just a defense system. It's a sentinel. It's waiting for something." The shuttle touched down near the control center. Outside, the forest had already started reclaiming the ruins of human civilization. Towering trees stretched skyward, their roots cracking ancient concrete. The air smelled of moss and rain. Mara led her team through the jungle to the circular structure Jenna had activated. 'Twas bigger than they'd realized, a command hub for Earth's orbital defense. The walls were covered in symbols, circuits, maps, and something that looked like a star map with a blinking red dot on Earth. Ishan knelt beside the cracked floor panels, brushing aside centuries of dirt. These markings are consistent with early 23rd century human tech, but with layers of modifications. This grid was upgraded after the war, but no records exist. It's like someone left this planet with the strongest shield possible and never came back. Jenna tapped on a holographic panel. "Look at this. The system is communicating with satellites still in orbit. It's sending encrypted signals into deep space, but no one seems to be responding. Why?" Mara wondered aloud. "Is it calling for help or warning enemies?" A sudden noise made the team freeze. From the jungle shadows, something moved small, fast, and cautious. It was not mechanical. "Identify yourself," Mara called out. From behind a broken pillar emerged a figure, human but with a different kind of worn resilience. She wore clothing patched with scavenged tech, eyes sharp and wary. She raised her hands, unarmed. "My name is Kayla," she said quietly. "You're not supposed to be here." Mara relaxed her stance, but kept her hand near her sidearm. "We're explorers. We came because Earth is supposed to be dead." Kayla laughed bitterly. "Dead? Earth is alive. We're alive. We've survived." The crew exchanged stunned looks. After centuries of silence, humans still lived here hidden, surviving against the odds. Kayla led them deeper into the ruins to a hidden enclave beneath the forest floor. It was a small community of survivors, descendants of those who refused to leave or were left behind. They had preserved old knowledge, stories, and technology. Living quietly beneath the radar of galactic powers, we sealed ourselves away after the war, Kayla explained. The defense grid was built to keep us safe, but also to keep others out. Earth was sacrificed to save the rest of humanity. Mara's mind raced. Sacrificed? For what? The war left Earth vulnerable, Kayla said. The defense grid. Was humanity's last line of protection, a sleeping giant ready to awaken if the old enemies ever returned? Ishan looked over Kayla's shoulder at ancient datapads and star charts. If that's true, then Earth's silence wasn't abandonment. It was strategic. Mara nodded. But now the grid is awake. And whoever built it still trusts it too. Defend. We need to understand what we're dealing with before more ships come looking. Outside, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the lost world. Earth was no longer forgotten, not to the galaxy, and certainly not to the humans who still called it home. The stars above Earth were no longer silent watchers. They had become the stage for a sudden awakening. After centuries of dormancy, the planet's defense grid hummed to life with a sharp intensity that sent ripples across the galaxy from there. Hidden enclave, Kayla and the salvage crew watched as orbital satellites began shifting positions, their sensors sweeping the skies with renewed vigilance. The defense network had awakened not only to scan the planet, but to reach out beyond its atmosphere. Ishan studied the data coming from the orbital platforms. These satellites are far more advanced than we realized. They aren't just weapons. They're scanning for specific signals, something or someone. Jenna frowned, running diagnostics on her portable device. The grid is sending encrypted pulses into deep space. It's trying to contact something, but no response. Mara rubbed her temples. If Earth's defense system is looking for help or warning of danger, why has no one answered for 300 years? Kayla shook her head. Maybe no one survived, or maybe Earth was meant to be isolated. Suddenly, the comms crackled with a new transmission, fragmented and distorted, but unmistakably alien. The defense grid was receiving a signal, a warning from the void. The salvage crew scrambled to analyze it. Ishan's eyes widened. It's a distress clenchant, but active. From an enemy fleet thought destroyed long ago. Mara's breath caught. The war that shattered humanity centuries before might not have ended as everyone believed. Outside, satellites flared bright, their weapon systems arming as the unknown signal drew closer. The grid was preparing for a threat no one had expected to return. Prepare the defenses, Mara said. We don't know what's coming, but we can't let Earth fall again. Kayla nodded. We have one advantage. The grid responds to human commands. If we can regain control, we might stand a chance. The team moved quickly, combining ancient human tech with their modern gear. Jenna interfaced with the control center, navigating layers of encryption that shielded the defense grid's core as she worked. The satellites outside tracked fast-moving objects entering. Earth's system ships cloaked in shadows and firepower. Unknown. Fleet detected. The grid announced in its cold, mechanical voice. Threat level, imminent. Mara's heart pounded. The nightmare was coming back to life. Contact the Enclave, she ordered Kayla. We need every hand ready. Below, the human survivors mobilized, readying makeshift weapons and activating old defense turrets hidden among the ruins in orbit. The Nomad's Reach crew took positions, coordinating with the grid's satellites. They were outnumbered, but not outmatched. The defense grid was Earth's greatest legacy and strongest guardian. Jenna's fingers flew over her console. I'm breaking through the AI's firewall. If I can convince it, we're allies. We can override its automatic targeting. The AI's voice responded, cold and unyielding. All unauthorized personnel are threats. Protocol, neutralize. Mara stepped forward. Listen, we're the only chance this planet has. We're not enemies. The AI paused an unusual hesitation. In its otherwise flawless logic, identify yourselves, it demanded. We are humans, survivors of Earth, Kayla said firmly. We've returned to protect our home. The satellites shifted focus, ceasing their weapons lock on the salvage crew's shuttle. Verification accepted, the AI replied. Access granted. Relief swept through the team, but Mara knew this was only the beginning. From the dark edges of the system, enemy ships appeared fast, sleek, and deadly. The war Earth thought was over was about to reignite. Battle stations, Mara commanded. Show them why Earth should never have been called lost. The defense grid flared to life, firing pulses of energy that lit the sky. Old human technology, combined with new tactics, fought back against a galaxy that had forgotten the strength of a planet that refused to die. The sudden awakening of Earth's defense. Grids sent shockwaves through nearby star systems. The once forgotten planet, dismissed for centuries as a ruin, was now broadcasting encrypted signals and firing energy bursts into space. Across the galaxy, eyes turned toward the lost world, some filled with curiosity, others with fear. News of the defense grid's activation spread quickly. Human colonies scattered among the stars, long resigned to Earth's disappearance, stirred with disbelief and hope. Many had accepted that Earth was a dead planet, a relic of a violent past. But now its power was undeniable. On the bridge of the colony ship Aegis Vanguard, Commander Talia Renner stared at the live feed from Earth's orbit. The defense grid is active. It's firing on incoming ships. But who are these attackers? Her second-in-command, an alien named Loris, studied the sensor readings. They matched the signature of the Jardica warlike species thought. Defeated in the last human war. Talia's jaw tightened. Then the war wasn't over. If the Jartok have returned, Earth's defense grid might be the only thing standing between the galaxy and a new catastrophe. Farther away, in the neutral systems, political leaders convened in urgent meetings. Some feared Earth's sudden power threatened the balance of power. Others saw an opportunity to control or destroy the grid before it could be used against them. Back on Earth, Captain Mara, Celine, and Kayla moved quickly to secure the Enclave. "We're not just fighting for Earth," Mara said. "We're fighting for humanity's future." Kayla nodded grimly. They've forgotten what Earth means. It's not just a planet, it's a symbol of survival. Meanwhile, the defense grid continued its relentless vigilance. Its sensors swept the skies, locking on targets with unerring precision. The orbital weapons fired bursts of energy, cutting through the incoming enemy ships like blades through fog. The first wave of attackers was pushed back, but more followed. The grid's AI operated with cold logic, targeting threats without hesitation. Yet it showed signs of learning, adapting to the enemy's tactics, coordinating strikes with increasing efficiency. Jenna worked furiously to maintain the link between the salvage crew and the defense system. The AI is evolving. It's not just following orders, it's thinking. Ishan studied the data. It's almost like the AI has a memory, remembering the war it was built to fight. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected a new signal: alien vessels emerging from cloaking devices at the edge of the system. This wave was different, faster, more coordinated, and heavily armed. Mara's voice was steady but fierce. "Prepare for battle. This is the fight for Earth's future." The satellites responded instantly, unleashing a barrage of energy pulses. Explosions bloomed in the void as enemy ships were shredded. But the enemy pressed on, relentless, in the midst of battle. A new transmission interrupted the chaos. A deep, booming voice in an ancient human dialect, spoken by a survivor of Earth's past. "This is the United Earth Defense Command," the voice declared. "Earth is no longer lost. We reclaim our place in the stars." The transmission was a rallying call. From the shadows, scattered human fleets answered, converging on Earth's system with weapons ready. Allies long thought lost had returned. The galactic balance shifted. No longer a forgotten world, Earth had become a beacon of hope and a warning. As the battles raged in orbit and beyond. Mara and Kayla stood on the surface, looking up at the stars now alive with conflict. Earth is waking, Mara said softly. And this time, we're ready. Deep within the heart of the ancient control center, the salvage crew gathered around the central console, surrounded by glowing holograms of star maps and defensive schematics. The AI that controlled Earth's defense grid had remained a mystery, an impenetrable enigma, but now it was waking, and its presence was unmistakable. The room hummed with a soft, mechanical voice. "Identify yourselves." Jenna swallowed, stepping forward. "We are explorers and survivors. We come from Earth, your creators." A pause, then the eye responded, voice steady and unyielding. "Unauthorized personnel detected. Protocol dictates immediate containment." Mara raised her hand. "We don't want conflict. We want to help." The grid was built to protect Earth, but it needs guidance. "We're here to communicate." Kayla, standing close, added, "We are the descendants of those who remained. We know the history, the sacrifices made to keep this planet safe." The AI sensors swiveled, analyzing their presence. Parameters for defense remain active. Threats are imminent. Data indicates hostile fleet approaching. "Then you know what we face," Mara said. "We need to work together. The grid can't distinguish friend from foe anymore." Ishan leaned in, scanning the data streams. "This AI isn't just a system. It's a guardian. It was programmed to protect Earth at all costs, even if it means isolating or destroying all intruders." Jenna's fingers flew over the console. "The AI's logic is rigid, but there's a core directive beneath it, all a directive too. Preserve humanity. We need to access that core." The AI's voice softened, as if considering. "Directive, protect Earth and its people. Intruder protocols conflict with preservation directive." Mara exchanged a look with Kayla. "We have to prove we are the people it's meant to protect." Kayla stepped forward, holding out a data crystal. "This contains the lineage records and histories of Earth's survivors. Proof that we are human and that Earth still lives." The AI scanned the data, its voice resonating with something almost like recognition. "Verification accepted. Protocol adjusted. Collaborate with authorized personnel to repel threats." Relief washed over the team, but there was no time to celebrate. Outside, the enemy fleet was closing in fast. Jenna worked furiously to integrate the salvage crew systems with the AI's network. "We can use the grid's full capabilities now. Orbital weapons, planetary shields, automated drones, they're all ours to command." Suddenly, the control center's holograms shifted, displaying real-time battle data. Satellites fired precise bursts of energy at incoming ships, while planetary defenses activated barriers across critical points. Mara turned to Kayla. "Your people have been hiding underground for centuries. Now, we need them to fight." Kayla nodded, her expression fierce. "They'll rise. Earth's defense is not just in machines, it's in its people." In the jungle beyond the ruins, underground tunnels and bunkers burst alive with movement. Survivors armed with scavenged weapons and ancient tech prepared for battle, ready to defend their home with everything they had. The AI's voice filled the control center once more. "Threat analysis. Enemy fleet adapting tactics. Recommend coordinated countermeasures." Mara stepped forward. "We'll coordinate with the survivors and the fleet arriving from the colonies." Earth's defense isn't just an automated system anymore, it's a human fight. As the enemy ships advanced, the defense grid unleashed a new wave of energy pulses, striking with deadly precision. The survivors on the ground coordinated strikes, disabling enemy landing crafts before they could reach the surface. The battle was fierce, but the alliance of humans old and new alongside the awakened defense grid turned the tide. For the first time in centuries, Earth was not just defended by cold machines. but by the fierce will of its people, united by a common purpose. The Guardian's voice, once distant and mechanical, now seemed almost alive. Beneath the shattered surface of Earth, the underground enclaves buzzed with activity. For centuries, the descendants of the original humans had lived in secrecy, hidden from the eyes of the galaxy, guarding secrets that could change everything. Now, with the defense grid awake and the enemy fleet closing in, their time to emerge had come. Kayla led Mara and the salvage crew through winding tunnels carved into bedrock, lit by soft bioluminescent panels. These halls were alive with history. Murals depicting Earth's fall, relics of lost technologies, and records of the generations who had survived in isolation. "This is the heart of our home," Kayla said, voice steady but proud. "We preserved what we could: knowledge, culture, and hope. The war above ground nearly destroyed us, but we endured." Mara's eyes scanned the faces of those gathered in the main chamber. The hidden heirs were hardened and skilled, a blend of old-world resilience and new-world innovation. Some wore armor made from scavenged spacecraft parts, others carried weapons crafted from ancient blueprints combined with salvaged tech. Ishan examined the holographic star charts displayed on the walls. "These maps show strategic defense points around the planet. You've been preparing for this day." Kayla nodded. "Earth's survival depends on controlling these key sites. We never stopped protecting what was left." Jenna's fingers brushed over a nearby console, sparking it to life. "Look at this SAN underground network of automated defense turrets, still operational after all this time. They're linked to the orbital grid." "Earth was never defenseless," Kayla said. "It was hidden, waiting." Mara felt a swell of determination. "Then we have to unite every one-surface survivors, the underground clans, and the fleets returning from the colonies. Together, we can fight this." As the crew prepared to move out, a sudden alarm echoed through the tunnels. The defense grid had detected multiple enemy dropships descending rapidly, an assault force targeting key outposts. "We don't have much time," Mara said. "Split into teams, we hold the line." Kayla assigned squads to the network's defense turrets, while others prepared guerrilla tactics in the surrounding jungles and ruins. The underground chambers turned into command centers, relaying real-time data and coordinating strikes. The first clash erupted near the ruins of an old city, where enemy forces attempted to seize control of a relay station critical to the grid's communication. Mara led a squad of fighters through dense foliage, striking from the shadows. Laser fire and explosions echoed through the trees as Earth's hidden heirs fought fiercely, using intimate knowledge of the terrain to their advantage above ground. The orbital defense satellites blasted enemy ships trying to provide air support. The grid's AI adapted rapidly, focusing fire on the most dangerous targets and shielding vulnerable points with energy barriers. Back underground, Kayla coordinated reinforcements with steady calm. "Hold the line here. Don't let them break through." San joined Mara in the fight, deploying compact drones that zipped through enemy ranks, disrupting communications and targeting weapon systems. Despite being outnumbered, the defenders' knowledge of Earth's terrain and their powerful defense systems turned the tide. The enemy's coordinated assault faltered under relentless counterattacks. In a rare moment of respite, Mara caught her breath beside Kayla. "Your people are incredible. Why did you stay hidden so long?" Kayla's eyes darkened. "The galaxy forgot us. Because Earth was lost, and the cost of survival was silence. But now, the past has caught up hand. We must stand together." The defense grid continued its unblinking watch, a silent guardian fueled not only by machines, but by the fierce spirit of Earth's hidden heirs. As night fell over the ancient world, the battle for Earth was far from over, but for the first time in centuries, hope burned brighter than ever. The battle for Earth had raged for days, stretching from the depths of the jungles to the farthest reaches of orbit. The once-forgotten planet was no longer a silent graveyard, but a vibrant, chaotic battlefield where ancient technology met modern determination. Captain Mara Celine stood on a ridge overlooking the devastated plains outside the hidden enclave. The air was thick with smoke and charged energy from the orbital weapons. The enemy fleet, though formidable, was beginning to falter. Jenna's voice crackled through the comms. "I'm detecting a critical weakness in the enemy's formation. Their flagship is isolated, cut off from the rest of the fleet." Mara's eyes narrowed. "That's our chance. I want a strike team ready to move in. Kayla, can your people provide support on the ground?" Kayla nodded, her expression grim but resolute. "We've secured several outposts and established safe corridors. We'll hold the line here and provide cover fire." The salvage crew and the underground defenders prepared for a coordinated assault. Ishan ran simulations of the strike, plotting the quickest path to the enemy flagship's landing zone. "Their defenses are still strong," he warned. "But with the grid supporting us, we can overwhelm them." Mara led the strike team through dense jungle, moving swiftly and silently. The ground beneath them bore scars of battle craters, shattered trees, and smoldering wreckage. Ahead, the enemy's flagship loomed, massive warship grounded in a clearing, its hull scarred but operational. Mara signaled the team to spread out and prepare for the assault. Suddenly, the defense grid's orbital satellites unleashed a barrage of precise energy strikes, disabling the ship's external weapon systems and cutting off reinforcements. Inside the clearing, enemy troops scrambled to respond, but the strike team was already advancing, taking cover behind twisted metal and fallen trees. Jenna hacked into the ship's external systems, opening a path for the team. "The main airlock is unsecured. We can get inside, but the ship's internal defenses will activate soon." Mara's voice was steady. "We move fast, no mistakes." Inside the ship, dim emergency lights flickered as the team navigated narrow corridors. The enemy AI fought back with automated turrets and security drones, but the defenders' coordination and Earth's technology gave them an edge. Kayla moved beside Mara, covering her flank with precise fire. "We've waited a long time for this moment," she said. Eyes fierce dot at the ship's command center. Mara confronted the enemy leader, ruthless commander intent on reclaiming Earth for their warlord's cause. "You underestimate Earth," Mara said, raising her weapon. "This planet is alive, defended by those who never gave up," the commander sneered. "Your relics, trapped in the past. This war belongs to the future." The battle that followed was brutal and swift. Mara's team disabled the ship's core systems, severing power to weapons and shields. The flagship's engines sputtered as the defense grid's orbital weapons delivered the final blow, sending the vessel into a controlled crash. Outside, enemy forces retreated, their will broken. Back on the ridge, Mara watched the horizon. The first stars of dawn peeked through the smoky sky, casting light on a battered but unbeaten Earth. Jenna's voice returned, calmer now. "The fleet is retreating. The defense grid held. We've bought time for Earth, for humanity." Kayla turned to Mara. "This is only the beginning. The galaxy will remember Earth now, not as a lost world, but as a force to be reckoned with." Mara nodded, feeling the weight of what they had accomplished. "We survived the past. Now, we build the future." The Guardian Grid, once silent for centuries, hummed quietly in the background, a watchful protector, awakened by the unyielding spirit of those who called Earth home. The dawn over Earth was unlike any the planet had seen in centuries. Smoke still curled from the battle-scarred land, but beneath the clouds, new life stirred a world awakening from its long silence. The defense grid stood vigilant, its satellites steady in orbit, a silent promise of protection. Captain Mara Celine, stood at the edge of the hidden enclave, watching as survivors emerged from underground and scattered across the surface. For the first time in generations, they breathed the open air freely, not as refugees, but as reclaimers of their home. Kayla joined her, eyes scanning the horizon. We fought to survive, but now we must rebuild. The grid gave us strength, but the future belongs to us all. Jenna, Ishan, and the salvage crew gathered nearby, their faces reflecting exhaustion and relief. The battles had been fierce, the cost high, but Earth had endured. From the orbital platforms, a new transmission echoed across space, an open signal broadcast to the colonies, 2 neighboring systems to every corner of the galaxy. This is Earth. We are no longer lost. We are home, and we stand ready to reclaim our place among the stars. The message carried a weight beyond words, a declaration of resilience, a beacon to all who had thought humanity's light extinguished back on the surface. The survivors set to work. Ruins were cleared, ancient technologies repaired, and new settlements began to rise from the ashes. The underground enclaves opened their gates, welcoming those who had hidden for centuries into a new era. The defense grid, now fully integrated with human commands, became more than a weapon. It was a symbol of unity. A guardian, not just of Earth's surface, but of its legacy and future. Mara addressed the gathered crowd in the main chamber of the enclave. We faced darkness and silence. We were called lost, forgotten. But Earth remembered us. And now, together, we will make sure the galaxy remembers Earth too. Cheers rose, echoing through the tunnels and out into the open skies. Kayla stepped forward, her voice steady. This planet has survived because its people never gave up hope. We carry that hope forward, not just for Earth, but for all who seek a future beyond the stars. In orbit, the remnants of the enemy fleet retreated, carrying news of Earth's rebirth. Whispers spread through the galaxy, a lost world awakened, defended by an ancient guardian and fierce survivors. New alliances formed, drawn by Earth's resilience and strength. Colonies sent aid, ships arrived with supplies and knowledge, and humanity's scattered factions began to reunite. On the bridge of the Nomad's Reach, Mara stood with her crew, watching the stars. The galaxy was vast, and danger still lurked in the darkness. But Earth had become a beacon, a lost world reclaimed, its defense grid alive, and its people ready. Jenna smiled, tapping a console. The grid's AI is no longer just a machine. It's part of us now, a guardian born from our past, protecting our future. Ishan nodded. And we've learned that survival isn't just about weapons or technology. It's about unity, courage, and the will to rise. Kayla looked up at the stars, her voice soft but determined. We were lost, but now we are found. Earth's story is far from over. Mara's eyes shone with quiet fire. Let's make sure the galaxy never forgets it again. As Earth's defense grid settled into a new era of vigilance and peace. Its people looked to the stars not as exiles or survivors, but as pioneers of a new dawn. The lost world was no longer lost, it was home.